Sam, it's Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
Hey, two quick things. That lady who called earlier about grad school and all that, she should just try drugs.
Okay, appreciate your advice.
Yep.
Can't condone.
Yeah. Okay. She should try Seder. All right. So actually, two other things other than that. One thing I wanted to mention this about the immunity case that I think is a little bit underreported. But in the oral arguments, Trump's lawyer opened with, immunity is so important for the executive to have because they have to have the leeway to do certain things. And if they didn't, the horror would be that Bush might go to jail for the Iraq War. That was his first example. Obama might go to jail for drone killing U.S. citizens. Oops. And then Biden might go to jail for having an open border. I guess I don't know how that fits in quite exactly, but to me, it's just a reminder of the failure of the Obama administration, right? Their idea that they were going to look forward and that they were going to let those crimes go unpunished. And I'm surprised that nobody even brought up that, like, hey, maybe Bush going to jail would be good. Maybe the Iraq War was a major disaster, but I thought that was kind of interesting.
Well, it's also interesting that the principle of you can't do anything or you can do things that are illegal, you just can't be held accountable, was never really articulated in the wake of those things. Supposedly that principle was live, but nobody brought it up. Like there was no admission that they did anything wrong. But look, this has been a long time problem. Like you could go back to the pardoning of Richard Nixon. You could go back to the pardoning in the wake of Iran-Contra. You could go back to the savings and loan stuff. Like there's a pattern that once you forgive one thing and say you basically can't be held responsible for it, it just that becomes the norm.
Right.
I mean, this immunity thing, I don't think people realize how effed up it is because just to be clear, it says that it doesn't say that when a president does it, it's not illegal. It says the president's allowed to do illegal things and just can't be held to account. And so it's an acknowledgement that this is against the law. Like the immunity doesn't kick in until they break the law. And then it's still law breaking. But they just get a special no law applies to me card, which I think is more offensive in some ways than the idea of like, if the president does it, it's not illegal. It's still illegal. They concede that. It's just that they're not responsible for doing illegal things. That's what's so effed up about it, in my mind.
Right. One other thing about replacing Biden, which, oh my God, this just has to happen, is driving me crazy. I keep seeing, like, whenever Trump does a speech or something, there's all the people who clip that stuff up on Twitter and whatnot, and they love to focus on Trump's brain glitches, and his brain has been glitching for years, right? And they love to point out the hypocrisy of the media, that they're not covering the two, like, sundowning candidates in the same way, which is true. There's media hypocrisy and whatever, but that's a legitimate attack on Trump that's totally neutralized by the fact that your guy is more demented and more, I don't know that he has dementia, but he might just be senile. And if you replace him with anyone under 70, suddenly that becomes an arrow in your quiver again. You can talk about all those things and how he's too old, that he's, his brain doesn't seem to always work, that he called his wife the wrong name. I mean, right now you can't really bring up any of that stuff. And I've told a friend the other day, the second you find yourself in the position of saying, like, yeah, but the other guy has dementia too, like, you're just fucked. Like, that's the worst position you could be in electorally, to be trying to, in vain highlight how the other guy is also old. So anyways, hopefully they replace him, and then we can talk about in good faith how Trump also has like the melting brain of a toddler. So
yeah, I mean, we'll see. Adam Schiff came out today. It's going to be fascinating to watch how this plays out.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye-bye. Oh, now all of a sudden he has to go to work. Doesn't want to stay on the phone. Now all of a sudden he's got to respond to one of his clients. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.